Morning, guys. So I know it's early, like 7:30 in the morning. Both my kids are dropped off. Jake is at school, Alex is daycare, but I wanted to come live today because October 29th has a great significance. So, and with what's been going on in the Beachbody community, it really has even made me think about this more. So October 29th, 4 years ago, our daughter, Victoria, Alex's twin sister, had a heart attack. 6 days old, at home, 3 o'clock in the morning, had a heart attack. I'm trained in adult CPR, but not infant CPR. We did the best we could, waiting for paramedics to arrive, but it ended up not being enough. So, paramedics came, tried to resuscitate her. Obviously took too long because 4 or 5 days later, they decided, I think it was 4 days later, they determined that her brainstem was dead. Basically, she would remain in a coma, have to be in a ventilator. She would never be able to breathe on her own. She would never open her eyes. Like, that was the reality. She had been gone for too long before she was brought back. And if we would have been taught infant CPR, which I think everybody needs to be taught infant CPR, I'll be honest, we did not take a birthing class just because I had taken a birthing class in the past and we were going to have a C-section, period. We knew that what was going to happen, and my body doesn't dilate, so we just knew it was going to be C-section, so I wasn't going to be going through labor. We knew that they would probably come at 37, 38 weeks before I would even go into labor. Well, the goal was to not go into labor early. But with my son, I didn't go into labor on my own. I had to be induced, and then because I couldn't dilate 24 hours later, he had to be taken by emergency C-section because his heart rate had started to drop. So learning infant CPR, I think, is so important. And it is not something they taught us before we left the hospital. It's not something that was ever offered to us. Maybe if we would have thought about it, we would have looked into just doing it on our own. But I really think it is something that needs to be taught to all new parents. I just think it's something that just has to be taught. And this is just something after what happened with Jamie Fitzpatrick through the Beachbody Network. He had a heart attack on Sunday. Basically, his wife, Kim, brought him back using CPR. If she did not have known CPR, he might not be with us, right? He is stable. He's recovering. He's awake. He's making jokes. He would not still be here today if she would not have known CPR. Again, as I said, I know adult CPR because I had to learn it for my job when I worked at residential, but it was never taught infant. And it's not something that was offered. And I think that is a travesty because if we were taught infant CPR, our daughter might still be with us. And that's a horrible thing to think. And you don't want to blame hospitals. You don't want to blame anybody. You don't want to blame your doctor. Nothing. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying that this is something that needs to be offered to all new parents before you leave the hospital. And I am going to try to figure out how I can make this happen, at least in Wisconsin. I still don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but these last 4 years, I've been trying to think, this happened for a reason, right? God had this happen to us for a reason. Obviously, she had a heart defect, a very rare heart defect that they were not able to detect until a year after autopsy. But, she might have had a fighting chance if we would have known infant CPR. And that's just a horrible thought to have. If we would have been more educated, if we would have just known more, things may have turned out differently for her and for us. So obviously, God wants me to do something with this, right? He wants me to do something. And for 4 years, I've not figured out what that is. And I think I finally figured out that it is to help get infant CPR into hospitals, help get infant CPR as a requirement before you leave the hospital. Who wouldn't want to do that? What parent wouldn't want to learn infant CPR? You think it's never going to happen to you, right? You think, oh, that's never going to happen. But it could. It could happen to anybody. And that is really what I wanted to come on live today and say is, these days are hard, right? October 29th, the day she had her heart attack. October November 2nd, the day we were told that her brainstem was dead, right? That was the day we were told her brainstem was dead. She's never going to recover. She had it between October 29th and November 2nd of 2015. She did not even try to take a breath on her own. She was starting to have seizures. The brainstem was dead. And on November 3rd was the day that we decided to let her go to heaven. And November 4th is the day that happened. And obviously, there are other days that remember, like the day they were born is obviously a big day too, because, we thought everything was fine. We thought that they were healthy. They were both 7.5 pounds. Yes, Victoria had some jaundice, but obviously that did not cause her to have cardiac ganglionitis, right? That jaundice didn't cause that. That's a heart defect and it's not genetic. But, this is definitely, yeah, that's right, Andrea. This is definitely what I was called to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to figure it out. So hope everybody has a fantastic Tuesday. Think how I'm going to get through this tough time, because this next week is it's going to be a tough time, right? It's just to be present, really share with you guys how I'm feeling, really share with you guys what I'm thinking, still show up for my workouts, still show up eating healthy, drink my water. Sleep has been difficult. I'm just being honest. Sleep has been difficult. But it's because, this time of year, the nightmares come back. And, until you've been through it, no judgment, just looking for support and love and prayers to get our family through this hard time. What's the worst part about this time of year is it's supposed to be happy time, right? Thanksgiving's coming up. Christmas is coming up. Alex's birthday was obviously last week. My dad's birthday was last week. Jake's birthday is next week. So, it's also hard on him, right? To have your sister die 3 days before your birthday. Like, that can't be good. Like, it can't be easy for him. So just prayers for us and our family that we can get through this season, and then happy holidays to come, right? So I hope everybody has a fantastic Tuesday. I keep adding on to what I'm saying, but thank you everybody for your loves, your prayers, your amazing comments, your messages. I really appreciate it. I know that you guys have supported me through all this, and I just really appreciate it. So I will keep you guys posted, and I'm going to make this happen. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. So bye guys. Have a good day.